Shalom Israel, it's your boy New Breed coming through with another video. In this particular video, I want to talk about envy. For those who are just tuning in or new to the channel, I'm doing a 7-part series and this is part 2. We're tackling the 7 deadly sins. Number 1, we had gluttony. Number 2, we're doing envy. I find this particular topic very important because envy is what's plaguing us, not only as a community, not only as a nation, but it has plagued the whole entire world. The sin that started it all. See, Satan, Lucifer, the serpent, he was envious of the Most High. He wanted to be like the Most High. So envy has many sins wrapped into one. Jealousy, wrath, hatred, being vindictive, and also being covetous. Now in this particular series, we talk about how the media continually perpetuates and promotes these particular sins. We address the issue for people who struggle or suffer from these particular sins, and then we speak about solutions. See, we're all about self-examination here. So what is envy? Envy is when a person finds the need to despise another person. And truly, it is based on insecurities. In Hollywood, along with social media, have done a phenomenal job with elevating the insecurities of the general public. That's why everywhere you turn, they're giving you their idea of what beauty is, of what success is, of what we should do, what's the new, keeping up with the Joneses, things of that nature. Because that's designed to make people envious and jealous of those who seem to acquire certain successes in life. When in actuality, envy runs way deeper than that, because the people that you perceive to be successful and happy and living their best lives, a lot of them are in fact the most insecure people on this earth. It's not by chance that when you turn on any social media website or you're watching any type of television program, these celebrities are throwing each other under the bus. They going on radio shows just to talk about another artist. They are envious of each other. They are some of the most insecure people in the world, and they are supposed to be the example of how the rest of the public operate, since most people are mindless sheep and look up to these people. You know, and now it's like this in the workplace. People backstabbing, envious, jealous, because a lot of people are programmed by these celebrities who are, like I said again, some of the most insecure, envious people walking the planet. I mean, wouldn't you be insecure? Wouldn't you be envious and have hatred in your heart if you sold your soul for something only to find out that you're still empty inside? You got people successful in this life who haven't sold their souls. So, you know, they got a raw deal. But anyway, envy. We know that social media perpetuates this with all of the housewives and reality shows, which is far from reality. When they're showing people in strife, showing people going back and forth, backbiting, arguing, hating on each other, they know the effects that it's having on the general public. But let's talk about the effects it have on your spirit, on your mind, even your body. Let's talk about how deadly the sin of envy is, because it is truly a deadly sin. Proverbs 14:30. A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy the rottenness of the bones. See, if you are an envious person, you will literally rot from the inside out. That's why when you see people who refuse to transition to a more positive place in their lives, they stay back in the same community doing the same thing, talking about people who've actually done something, talking about people who've become successful, got jobs, trying to better themselves. If you notice, those people who are still on them corners talking the same trash, doing the same thing, you can look at them and tell that they are rotten from the inside out. They literally look like death. They're dying from hatred. They're dying from envy. See, when you are waiting for the next man to put his hand out so you can make it, you don't have your priorities in line. When you become envious of a person, you cannot focus on your own goals that you need to accomplish. Envy will destroy your future. And when this Bible says it rots the bones, it's talking about physically. It's physically taking a toll on your health, because all that hatred and all of that malice that you harbor within your heart, it got you turning to drugs. It got you turning to alcoholism, and you're destroying yourself. It's causing death. You are literally decaying, watching other people become successful. You know, it's amazing to me how much misdirected energy we have within our communities. Brothers who we perceive to be conscious are jealous and envious and always got something to say about another brother who's monetizing or making money off of their platform. That's kind of ironic when the Federal Reserve burns, I mean literally burns, hundreds of billions of dollars each year. And you got people out here starving. You got people out here who are homeless. And you know, these conscious brothers, they don't bat an eye about that. But they're worried and they're envious about another brother getting a little check for the work that they do, calling brothers agents and being jealous and hating on the next man. It's really pathetic. See, this government, they print the money out like Monopoly paper. It's nothing for them to give a YouTube check. YouTube is a business. They're a company. They're going to want to get paid for quality material. It's a business. You live in a capitalistic society. But instead of directing your energy on the overall enemy, we have that crabs in a barrel mentality, and we're envious towards our own brothers. See, it stems deep. James 3:16. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion and every evil work. See, anytime there's envy and strife in any type of platform, any type of community, any neighborhood, any workplace, anytime there's envy there, there's going to be confusion there. Some companies go to the ground based on people being envious. That's why it's important to keep a positive outlook overall in whatever endeavor you're in, especially if it's a group effort. If you have one bad apple, one rotten apple, like within the 12 disciples, you had Judas, who was envious of the Messiah. That one bad apple would tear down the whole empire. That's how wicked envy is. And it also opens up every evil work. So envy can go to every single sin, every perversion, every wicked thought. Everything from murder to lasciviousness to espionage, all stems from envy. Turn to Galatians 5:26. It reads, "Let us not be desirous of vain glory, provoking one another, envying one another." That's when people are doing everything for clout. The Bible calls it vainglory, because that's all clout is, vainglory. Seeking the attention from others. So you're trying to cause a rift with someone else. You're trying to get somebody else's attention so you can cause a beef so you can get that vainglory or that clout. Scriptures tell us not to do that. And we're also commanded not to envy the wicked. Now, we got to understand what's correcting, what's reproving, what's reproaching, opposed to what's straight up doing anything for clout. Because yes, we must approve one another. We must correct one another. We must even rebuke one another. But we're not doing it for vainglory. You should never be envious of someone who is wicked in their ways. Although they may seem to have it all, they may seem to be successful, you should never envy someone who is wicked. And that's Proverbs 24:1, in case you're wondering. Now, we talked about how the media perpetuates and promotes this particular behavior. We talked about how this sin is deadly, and we've identified this sin. Now we're going to talk about overcoming. If you're one who feels like, you might have some envy, some hatred, some malice within your heart, what's the steps to actually healing from this particular sin that's causing you pain? Well, first off, it's time for you to repent. The Most High blessed you to be a special person. You were born to do what you were supposed to do in life. You were born with a goal. You were born with a mission. It's time for you to get tunnel vision. Seek forgiveness from the Most High for tearing down brothers and sisters, for having hatred in your heart, for being covetous and seeking approval and vainglory from the rest of the world. And understand that, this program was deeply rooted in your psyche based on what social media and Hollywood perpetuated. A great deal of this jealousy and envy came from Satan, Lucifer himself. So you got to get those spirits and those demons out of your life that's causing you this strife and this malice. But also understand that it's not entirely your fault based on a world that makes it seem that throwing each other under the bus, backbiting, gossiping, hating on each other, the world makes that seem normal. So in a sense, you just feel like you're operating on a regular level. And I can understand that. But now you got to realize that you have not been operating on a normal level. The Most High never intended for us to be this way. When Satan was envious of him, he casted him out of heaven, and it put the world in disarray. So now that you address the root, it's time to be strong. It's time to be fierce. It's time to get tunnel vision and focus on your own goals. Get your priorities in line and really begin to ask for forgiveness and most of all, forgive yourself. We all suffering from one of these 7 deadly sins, if not all of them. That's why we're going to do these videos and address all of them. But anyway, I hope this video gave you edification that was needed. And I would like to thank y'all for watching. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. With that being said, shalom and peace.